Greetings, beautiful people. Let's talk about why people who are in the conscious community have a hard time literally having that that special moment with themselves, meaning like getting to know thyself and feeling that empowered state. Okay, now let's start off with this. Okay, I've spoken about diet in a number of my videos, and the reason why is because this is where I believe the most important influence on your spirituality, or whatever you want to call it, your natural state of being, because it's not a religion, it's just who you are. You know what I mean? It's just what you are. You are a spiritual being. Okay, and the reason we keep associating ourselves with the body is because I will give you this example. The moment we were born, the moment we first heard those first words, okay, that's where our telepathic abilities went weaker and weaker until they went dormant when we became adults. Okay, I've also mentioned in my previous videos where regardless of these senses, these five senses are the ones that should be considered the extrasensory perceptions, and the ones that we consider the extrasensory perceptions, like claircognizance, clairaudience, clairsentience, those are the ones that we should consider our common senses. Okay, now we're inhabiting this vessel. Okay, now regardless of everything that I've spoken about in the other videos, where I say that even with these five senses that we experience here in this physical or phi reality, like you have five senses, five fingers, you see phi in physical. All right, that's actually doing it in a feminine aspect, where we're receiving, but we're not receiving with our inner self, which is our feminine state. We're still doing it in a masculine state because we're doing it with the outer shell of us, which is the body. Okay, now here's what's crazy. Okay, if you're wondering why it's so hard to connect, the same way, all right, that we don't exercise these abilities that we have dormant, the more that we do things in an unnatural state, it's actually causing your spirit to be asleep. And let me explain something to you, because I haven't heard anybody talking about this, and this is something that I came to a realization. Okay, and if you do want to build on this, let's say, and you want to talk about this, let's say, in the comments, or even if you have a YouTube channel and you want to talk about this in your videos, make sure you build on this. Okay, you don't need to regurgitate, or because I try not to do that when I listen to information. I'm very conscious of trying not to regurgitate something I already know. I know that sometimes when you hear information and it resonates, it tends to stick to you and you tend to repeat it. But you see, I try to keep that neutral middle ground, where I'm actually looking at things from where I'm actually looking at it, and I'm not following somebody else's light. Okay, but at the end of the day, we are all one. Okay, we're all one having this experience, but there's different ways of looking at it if we are really all one. Okay, now when we eat foods, okay, that actually causes our DNA, or our essence, our soul, all right, to have a certain expression, because every time that you eat, all right, that determines a certain gene expression or DNA expression based on what you eat. You also repair yourself based on what you're eating. Okay, so here's the crazy part. If you're eating foods that are very dense and are making you heavy, and if you're eating more foods than water, you're constantly, literally, you're feeding your body, but you're not feeding anything to your soul. All right, and notice that when you feed your body, you need to metabolize. You need to chill out to metabolize your food. When you ingest information, or when you ingest things, that's why they say food for thought, because actually information is literally food for your spirit. The more light and information your spirit could ingest, that that literally serves your purpose, your spirit gets bigger. You become a brighter star like that. All right. But here's the thing: when you're listening, you're actually absorbing and you're receiving knowledge. But what is knowledge if it's not applied knowledge? So here's what's going on. Look at kids. All right. Kids are always happy. They're great. They're curious. You know what I mean? And notice how adults aren't curious anymore. All right. Notice how you guys can remember this, or girls, when you go to school, notice how you are bored and you tend to like kind of want to go to sleep when you're in class. And the reason this is happening is because subconsciously your spirit is not interested in this. See, this is where the whole thing with like this whole concept of inspiration comes in. You know what I mean? We talk about where is the human being really lazy, or is he just not motivated? Is he just not influenced or inspired? You know what I mean? Because here's the thing: when I was in school, I fell asleep. I didn't give a shit about what they were talking in class. All right. But then why is it that now I am so hungry for knowledge? I'm always trying to find out new things, what's going on. You know what I mean? I kind of found a stimulant. This stimulated me. You know what I mean? Now, kids, for example, all right, you could put a kid in a room, right? Let's say you never expose him to the outside world, okay? He won't have any kind of stimulus. But let's say when he's in the outside world, the world's his playground. He's very curious. But then when he starts to see, what the world really has to offer, this is why kids turn into adults and lose that motivation, lose that inspiration, lose that curiousness. You know what I mean? They lose that passion, that curiosity that sparks them. You know what I mean? Because why is it that we come here naturally curious? You know what I mean? And this is why I'm also not against earthly riches, because at the end of the day, kids love toys, but it's all an experience. See, your soul is here because your soul wants to experience. All right, your soul wants to live life to the fullest, be you to the fullest. That's why I say beautiful people. You know what I mean? But we eat and then we can't think straight. And if we can't think straight, we can't retain, absorb, or even have an electromagnetic connection where it causes the light bulb to go up and have us learn something new. You know what I'm saying? And then that food for thought literally becomes an indigestion instead of a good digestion for the for the spirit, for the soul. The soul is all about the experience. You know what I mean? But what is our experience mainly of on an everyday basis? Going to work 9 to 5. You know what I mean? And then we have 2 days off, and those 2 days off is about us watching TV. You know what I mean? Being entertained with media and programming. You know what I mean? Giving you programming on what you're supposed to be doing in life, and then you see all these on social media, these YouTubers and these Insta famous people that are, with these luxurious cars, these extravagant bodies, and you know what I mean, all this illusion, and then everybody's depressed. You know what I mean? Not only that, but the foods also suppress your hormones. Okay? And your hormones are your one. It's the most important thing in a man. It's what makes you feel confident. It's what makes you feel strong. It's what makes you feel outgoing. Now, everything's so sexualized that your sexuality is being attacked, right? And then there's guys who can't get girls and they end up masturbating. And what happens then? You know what I mean? They lose their essence every time. They already put their blood, sweat, and tears into their job. And then they say, hey, I put my all into this job, but for a certain amount of money. And that's what you sell your soul for every time you go to work. And then you go to school and learn this garbage that means nothing. What do you think your that's why people are depressed. It's not only just the food, it's just the experiences that your soul and spirit go through. But you're so cluttered that you can't tell these subtle energies that make you feel a certain way. You know what I mean? When you start to clean your vessel, you start to become really sensitive to pretty much anything. Anything. Even when you're around a toxic person, you'll be able to feel it. Because how is it that we know that we shouldn't be around toxic people because it affects your energy and aura, yet we're willing to take that energy in our mouth? You see, there's nothing wrong with eating meat, you know what I mean? But nobody knows how to handle that energy. But then here's why I'm against eating meat. Because your body is not meant to digest meat. It's not meant to intake that kind of fuel. You know what I'm saying? We talk about people, oh, balanced diet this, balanced diet that. You're mentally imbalanced because you look at everything from a scientific left brain point of view. But if you really look at it from a balanced point of view and start looking at it from a right brain point of view, you'll start to see how it's actually doing more damage to you than good. Okay? You get bigger muscles and more mass. I mean, obviously you're going to get big because you're putting mass and density in there, but you're disconnected. Okay? You don't even know how to, and then they tell you, oh, you have to be good in this world and follow the light and this and that. It's only 5% of the motherfucking reality that you see. It's only 0.1 what you perceive of the light that they tell you to follow. Yet the darkness is the totality. It's the all. It's the all and it's nothing at the same time, which is what you are. Which is why we're so powerful, because when you go in, you have that blueprint, that darkness, and then you create that massive light from within. See, anybody who is not in this state, that's why spirits try to inhabit this vessel to have an experience. You know what I mean? You're here to have an experience, and this is the crazy thing. Okay? Your life consists of working, and then when you retire, what is of your life? That's when you start to realize, what did I do with my life? What has become of me? Now nobody even wants to be near you because you're old and gray. You're not sound anymore. You're not even happy. Why? Because your life went entirely to an unnatural experience, and your subconscious and your spirit, your soul has been trying to get your attention your entire life. And you didn't listen. It took you to be retired and get away from the chaotic mess for you to literally be by yourself. Because when you're older, you're literally by yourself. And then you start to realize, fuck, what happened to my life? So this, and then not only that, but when you're that old already, what can you learn from there? You know what I mean? Like, if you're young already, this is the time to literally take advantage and empower yourself. And your body is always talking to you. Let's say we don't pay attention to it and you know, we go to work, we do this. Your body's always screaming at you. It's always telling you something. That's why whenever you get headaches, what do? You shut the body up with a pill. If you get a fever, you shut it up with a pill. If you get inflammation, you shut it up with a pill. You're always suppressing, you're always quieting the body down, numbing it down. And the body's always trying to get your attention. And this is the ego. Part of it is the ego. You know what I mean? Your body is literally always trying to protect you. You know what I mean? But you're always in fight or flight because you're in a stressful environment, because you're in an unnatural state. See, we talk about what is good, what is bad. You know what evil is? Living inverted, living in reverse. Yet they give you everything inverted. Everything's inverted. Why do you think they attack kids so much? Because kids are in their blueprint. They're in their dark state. Okay? They're not under... See, the moment that we follow a clock or this artificial time system, we're already disconnected from our own circadian rhythm, our own biological clock. Okay? Our sleep-wake cycle. Alright? By supposedly a gland that not too much is known about if you look it up, which is the pineal gland, which secretes melatonin and serotonin. Alright? That wake sleep cycle. It's responsible for the production of dimethyltryptamine, DMT. Alright? Now this is why people can't even remember their dreams. They can't remember anything that has to do with a metaphysical experience. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you're so stuck and so indoctrinated in this physical reality, and you're so dense from the food you eat and the information that's weighing you down. Because here's the thing, even toxic information can make you feel lighter and empowered, or it can make you feel very fearful. It can make you feel very, very uneasy and very heavy. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. Aside from the food weighing us down, toxic information weighs you down because it creates your insides, your information. It's literally creating the formation inside of you, right? And then you can't even tell if you're around toxic people. You don't know what toxicity of foods you're ingesting. So you're weighing yourself down. And this is the thing. See, I've heard YouTubers with these 3-hour live videos that really kind of piss me off, and I'm going to tell you why. All right? And I'm not going to call on names. That's why I even said that in my last video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just put the information in my channel. I don't have a lot of followers yet, but I will. And here's the thing though. Whoever is meant to watch this video will be watching this video. They will watch this video because it's meant for you to hear it. Okay? But check this out. When you die, supposedly what you're told is that you reincarnate here because it's what you need to do. And let me tell you something. So much for the law of free will. See, that's bullshit. Okay? Because if I want to incarnate here, I'll do it because I want to, not because I was tricked into it. Do you know why you reincarnate here and you don't know how and why it happens? It's because you did not become self-aware here in this 3D realm of reality. And this is where it comes down to you knowing thyself. Okay? Consume, consume, consume. If you're eating foods that weigh your body down and you're listening to information that's weighing your spirit and your soul down and depressing it to the point that it goes to sleep and it goes dormant, just like our supposed extrasensory perceptions, because we don't use them, this is why we reincarnate. And not to say that this 3D realm of reality is bad, because that's another stupidity that you're going to hear in the conscious community. That this 3D realm of reality is bad, but yet why are spirits always trying to inhabit these vessels? Based on your frequency and vibration, or they'll trick you into getting into a certain frequency and vibration so that you tune into it when you feed into it by entertaining or consenting to that frequency by, like, let's say if somebody pisses you off and then you consent to lowering your frequency by arguing back. That's how it happened. That's how it happened. And then you get inhabited and you don't even know. Because you won't notice subtle energies. Because you're so cluttered, you won't even notice if something went inside of you or not. It's like a really, really busy home full of clutter and garbage. I could steal something from you. I could put something toxic in your home. And you have so much things laying around you won't even notice. Okay? And this is why I say, we're here in this 3D realm of reality. And the moment that people start talking to us, we lose the telepathy abilities. We don't feel with our emotions. We just correlate with just feeling with our fingers only. We're not mindful of, like, the sounds of nature, which is the real blueprint. See, because you could just know what's not a... See, even your body is not... You're GMO too. You're GMO too. Okay? Which is why you're full of systems. Respiratory system, digestive system, circulatory systems. You know what I mean? But how do you combat that? When you disconnect from this artificial system. It's part of the system. The same way when you meditate, you disconnect from the chaotic system of a world that we call, right? And we tap within and go into our natural state of being. Nature, our human nature. Natural state of being. So you don't see the word system in there. Okay? And the reason that you go to sleep and you can't remember your dreams and you can't remember anything is because your soul and spirit is numb, suppressed. And every time you eat, you kill and destroy the DNA, which is your essence. It's your information center, the Akashic records. And then people say, oh, but why do we have a digestive tract? We're supposed to eat. But here's the funny part. This is the thing you got to ask yourself. Why is it that when you don't eat, you're healing? Why is it that when you don't eat, you're lighter and you can have spiritual experiences? Because now you're putting your body to sleep and now you're waking up the spirit. The same way when you learn and your body and your spirit knows that what you're learning resonates with it, you start to wake up the spirit. That's why when you start to watch videos such as this one and it resonates with you, it sparks you, it stimulates you. And then it makes you want to do more research, or perhaps search more videos on my channel or somebody else's channel on this topic, because it sparked an interest in you. And notice I said the word spark. And if you're eating foods that help that spark, even better, because you're electromagnetic beings. If you're eating meat, that's dead. That doesn't matter, because here's the thing. When you're eating death, that's what you're going to be, dead. Can you talk to a dead person? Can a dead person retain, absorb, or be stimulated or have an experience? No. So why are you eating death? You want to be alive. You want to be sparked. You want to have an experience. But you don't listen to your body. You don't listen to your spirit. You don't listen to your soul. See, not only do we suppress our soul and spirit, but we even suppress our own body that we associate ourselves with. Because even when there's a dis-ease or a problem, your body's screaming at you like, yo, something's happening. This is why there's an inflammation here. I got to cause a fever because I got to kill this virus. Yet we depend on bullshit as doctors. Because they have degrees. And what is a degree? You know what I mean? What is a degree? Yet little is known about the pineal gland. So you know what? Degrees, you measure angles. You measure temperature or temperament. Right? All it is just angles of light. And it's also an illusion. This is where the illusion of self-worth comes in too. Okay? And this is why you can't grow up or mature, because you don't know your worth. You see, you could put a millionaire, a doctor in here, and I'm worth more than them. You know why? Because I have so much abundance in me, they don't match up to me. The doctor, what does he know about the human anatomy? Right? What does he have a degree for? To medicate it, right? Well, I have a degree to meditate it and heal myself. I don't medicate it, I'll meditate it. And the millionaire, what does he have? Money? When he dies, he won't know what the fuck is going on, but I will. So I'm abundant. You know why? Knowledge is power. You ever heard, I know something you don't know? You could be empowered just by having knowledge over somebody. See, this is valuable information, and this is information in the now. So you got these gurus, these financial gurus, they'll pay for you to go see them. But for what? To become rich? A quick rich scheme? How are you going to be rich when your mind is not even right? You don't have you look at them and they're more valuable than you are. See, the same way we look at a $100 bill and a dollar bill, they both cost the same to print, yet we put more value on that $100 bill. I'm going to be coming out with more videos. Like, share, and subscribe if this information resonated with you. Okay? And I'm going to be coming out with a lot more topics. And these are things that are downloads. You know what I mean? And yeah, I look out for knowledge, but here's the thing. This is where you got to be careful when you look for so much knowledge. See, when you experience, you become that experience, which is why we're here in this vessel. This is why it's so good to be here in this vessel. But when you have worries like, oh, I'm worried about a bill, you become that worry. So the same way, when you're doing so much research and you don't go within, you just become that research. You just become a truth seeker. And that's all you're going to be. And all you're going to find is rabbit holes after rabbit holes after rabbit holes. And at the end of the day, what you should be coming to the realization in is self-empowerment. Okay? Not things that don't matter. See, history can always be rewritten. Okay? History can always be